Hey, what's going on, everybody? Hope everybody had a sick weekend. Back on this personal diary thing, and I actually just had an amazing weekend because I just got back from BC and visiting my now fiance and her family, of course. And I wanted to share something with you guys because I was thinking about something, and it's the importance of the human connection. I'm going to call this the human connection and why it's so important, and when you start to realize what's the most important thing, like what are the most important things that you can strive for in life. And honestly, like the human connection and having like a sense of community and connecting to other human beings is really what life is about at the end of the day. And honestly, I'm going to break this down into three different parts and then give you guys some validity to those parts from my own personal experiences. And the first one is your emotional well-being. So when you have connections with other human beings and have a sense of community, and you have people you can rely on, you have people that will support you, your emotional well-being is going to be in a much better place because you know that you can fall back on somebody. Let's say for instance, if you're a kid and you have your family, you have your dad, you have your mom, you have an older brother, like myself. Yeah, I have a younger sister. So I have people in my life that I can actually rely on if, God forbid, something happens. We go through some type of struggles, some type of turmoil. Well, guess what? You have that sense of community and you have that emotional stability. So you can have those people that will be able to support you. And I start to understand why, like, people that like are on their own and they don't have any connections with other human beings. I understand why they get depressed and why it leads to suicide and stuff like that, because you need to have that sense of community and have those relationships and have people that you can rely on, because it's good for your emotional well-being and it's going to keep you strong regardless of what's going on in your life. So even for instance, like when my emotional resilience and my emotional well-being was tested was back when I was younger, and my mom got sick with pulmonary hypertension, pulmonary fibrosis. She actually passed away 3 years ago, God rest her soul. But when she originally went through the process of being sick, she had to get a double lung transplant. But she was super upset. She was very worried. She couldn't breathe. She was struggling. But guess what? She had myself. She had my brother. She had my sister, and she had that emotional well-being and that connection with other human beings that wanted her to survive and wanted her to live. And it gave her that extra willpower and that extra push because she had a reason. She had a very strong reason as to why she wanted to live. And it was, we gave her that emotional stability and that emotional strength that she needed while she went through her difficult times, which was extremely difficult, man. Like having a double lung transplant, like that's absolutely insane. Like just imagine, like they had to open up her chest cavity, you know, reconnect all her veins, capillaries, everything, right? Arteries, all that kind of stuff. And so yeah, it's pretty wild surgery. I think it took about 9 or 10 hours to get the surgery done, but that really tested, my emotional well-being, and then it made me realize how important that human connection is to have with other human beings. The next thing that's important for it, and well, actually, sorry, the next thing that actually having that human connection will help you strengthen your physical health as well. Because I don't think people realize that your emotional wealth and your spiritual wealth, like your spiritual being is directly connected to your physical health. So what I mean is, if you start to feel like you're emotionally getting broken down, or if spiritually you're feeling like you don't have you don't have a strong spiritual side of you, and you don't have those other human beings that you can share that with, then your physical health will start to degrade, right? And another thing is, typically your physical health takes a toll when you have a high level of stress. You have a high level of stress, anxiety. You can't manage your stress. You can't manage your anxiety. And then it starts to take a toll on your physical health. So there's actual research and evidence, regarding stress related diseases. And that's what it's called. They call it stress related diseases. So these are diseases that happen in the body due to being in a basically a state of fight or flight, or freeze, right, on a consistent basis. So you're stuck in traffic, and you're stressing out for whatever reason, you're getting upset. Somebody pisses you off, in the workplace, one of your coworkers, like whatever it is. Eventually, it starts to degrade your immune system, and then your immune system's compromised. You start getting a little bit more sick, and your physical health will actually take a toll. It'll not having those human connections with other human beings will have a negative impact on your physical health. But it's guaranteed. There's no question about that. Okay. This third part of why it's important to have human connections is because for your own personal growth. Okay. And obviously, if you're watching this, you're somebody who actually cares about your own personal growth and your own self mastery and development as a human being. And that's why you would want to pay attention to somebody who shares the same beliefs and ideology as you, because you think it's important, and you think it's important to be a better version of yourself. So that's why it's good to have that human connection with other human beings, because you got to have a circle of people that you can bounce ideas off, and you can share, different perspectives with. They have a different perspective than you, and you can, take what they have to say, and then you can make your adjustments based on your own perspective on it. And so it's extremely important to bounce off those ideas and experiences and have those relationships with other human beings. And that way they can actually push you to be a better version of yourself. And so, for example, is if you like have a coach, or you have like a mentor, or if you even have like a friend or somebody that you look up to, and like they're doing certain things in their life in a certain way that you want to improve on and you want to get better at, well, guess what? You talk to that person and you ask them, hey, what did they do to improve that area of their life that you're actually looking to improve as well, right? And that's why it's so important for your own personal growth to have that human connection with other people that are going to actually push you to get out of your comfort zone and become a better version of yourself, because that's what you want at the end of the day. You don't want to stay where you're at and be stagnant and not grow, because if you're not growing, you're dying. So I know you guys don't want to die, because obviously you're watching this because you're alive, and you want to continue to be alive and thrive, and be the best version of yourself. So get around some people that are going to push you out of your comfort zone and make you want to be better. So for example, I'll say my boxing coach. He's an older, Ukrainian. Well, he's an older Russian guy, but he's from Ukraine, so he's been over there, and he's has a lot of life experience, and he's given me a lot of different perspective. He has a completely different perspective on life, but boxing with him, he's helped push me to just be a better version of myself, because it's been uncomfortable, but he pushes me to be better. So that's why for your own personal growth, you've got to have that human connection with other human beings who are going to push you to be the best version of yourself. I challenge you guys to, find a coach or a mentor or somebody that you look up to, somebody that has a certain aspect of their life that is better than where you're at in your certain area in your life. And you're like, you know what, I want to be more like my friend, Steven, who has this and this, and I'm missing that part of my life right now. I want to grow in that area, right? And then you go and you talk to that person, and then you figure out ways that you can improve and get better. Hope you guys got some value out of this, and realize how important it is to have that human connection. So hit the subscribe button and follow for more.